You know you can count on the cat. That's what everyone is saying this year. It seems like a long time ago that we first started making Arctic cats, but it has really only been a few short years. During those years, everyone involved with this company has worked hard to build a machine which people can count on. It's no accident that Arctic is the largest manufacturer of snowmobiles in the country. The heart of our organization has always been and will always be our dealers. More than anyone else, dealers have made this company what it is. Satisfied customers mean more sales, and it's our dealers who must see that the customers are happy. This year, we are going to produce more machines than ever before. In any assembly line operation which employs 2,000 people, there is an increased chance that little things might be missed. More than ever before, thorough pre-delivery inspection is a critical step in our total manufacturing operation. The most important period for the new owner is those first few hours of operation. He's expecting a lot from his new cat, and he'll get it if the dealer performs the pre-delivery operations. Remove the crating carefully so you don't damage the machine's finish. The machine is anchored to the bottom of the crate. The ski spindles ride in grooves cut in the base of the crate. Carefully pry the wooden caps from the grooves with a small wrecking bar. Lift the machine from the crate. Make sure you have a complete machine. Check to be sure that no parts are missing and that nothing was damaged during shipping. Inspect the windshield to be certain it's the proper windshield for the machine model. Make sure it is not cracked or scratched. Remove the skis from their box. Check for both a left and a right ski. The tool compartment contains the rest of the parts. There are 2 packets of hardware. One contains the ski and windshield bolts. The other contains the shock bolts, metal sleeves, and nylon spacers. There is an operator's tool kit. See that it's complete and return it to the machine. There should be 2 shock absorbers for this model. Each machine must also have an owner packet. The dealer packet contains identification papers and other material you'll need. Check the serial number on the warranty registration card against the number on the machine. The registration card should be filled out when you deliver the cat. There is also a quality control card. Fill it out, return it to the factory. By noting persistent problems, you will help us to correct them. The packet also contains the pre-delivery inspection checklist. Read the list over and check each item off as you inspect the machine. If you lay out the parts to be assembled and the tools you'll need, you'll make pre-delivery go smoother and faster. A few minutes here might save you an hour later on. To attach the skis, raise the machine with a quick jack. Remember, there are left and right skis. The weld nuts will be on the inside of the machine when the skis are properly installed. Clear the spindle hole of any excess paint with a 3/8" drill bit. Lubricate the ski bolts with approved Arctic Cat low-temperature grease. Next, install the ski assembly on the ski spindle and insert the bolt. Tighten the bolt snugly. Install the jam nut on the inside of the ski saddle and tighten it also. Make sure the ski is free to move without binding or dragging. Repeat this procedure on the other ski. Once the skis are on the machine, fit the shock absorbers. Put the long sleeves in the heavy painted metal shock tube. Put the short sleeves in the thin chrome shock ram. Grease the shock bolts with low temperature lubricant. Place the nylon spacers on each side of the lower sleeve. The shock ram will attach to the machine body. The shock body will attach to the ski. Install the shocks as shown. And tighten the shocks snugly. Ski alignment is important to the handling of the Arctic Cat. A toe-in of 1/4 inch is the correct adjustment. The alignment is checked with a tape measure. Measure the distance between the skis and the back of the ski. Now, measure the distance in front of the ski. The front measurement should be 1/4 inch smaller than the rear measurement for correct toe-in. If the skis need alignment, loosen the ski tie rod jam nut. Now, turn the threaded steering end in or out until the proper alignment is reached. Check to see that the lock collar on the steering post is tight. If it is loose, position the steering post at its upper limit. Look to see if the tie rods clear the belly pan. Tighten the 2 Allen screws with a hexagonal Allen wrench. Make sure the exhaust pipe does not rub the belly pan. If it rubs, loosen the muffler clamps and reposition the exhaust pipe in relation to the belly pan. Tighten the muffler clamps. If the exhaust pipe is allowed to rub the belly pan, the pipe will rattle and could break after a few hours operation. While the hood is off, make a general inspection of the engine mounts. Look for loose rivets. Check other nuts and bolts on the machine for tightness. Timing the engine will ensure maximum performance. Remove the recoil starter. Connect the Kawasaki timing buzzer. One lead will go to the ignition wire from the source coil. The other will go to ground. Turn the engine crank in the direction of normal rotation. Listen for the buzzer to change tone. It will change tone when the points open. If the points are in adjustment, the tone change will occur when the fixed mark on the fan housing matches the F mark on the flywheel. To time the other cylinder, use the opposite timing mark and repeat the process with the buzzer connected to the other wire from the ignition coil. Another step that will ensure proper performance is selection of the spark plug with the heat range best suited for your location. Gap the plugs with a feeder gauge at 20/1000ths of an inch. Since you have the recoil housing off, check the axial fan belt. The belt must be tight. About 1/8 inch deflection is desirable. Check all electrical connections and the ground wire in particular. Be certain they're tight and that none of the wires is damaged. Next, remove the plastic film from the carburetor air ram. Tighten the bolts holding the carburetor to the engine so that there are no air leaks. If air leaks into the engine behind the carburetor, the gas mixture could lean out and cause the engine to overheat. Tighten the impulse fitting on the crankcase. Check the impulse line for twists or kinks. This line takes pressure created in the crankcase and uses that pressure to pump gas through the carburetor. Inspect all fuel lines. Close both the high and low speed jets with a clockwise motion. Damage to the adjustment needles and seats can be prevented by making adjustments carefully. The recommended initial setting is 1 1/4 turn on the low speed and on the high speed at 1 1/4 turn. Further adjustment may be necessary when the engine is running. You'll notice a gap between the choke knob and the dash panel. The gap exists because the choke control cable is longer than necessary. The extra length of the cable ensures the choke shutter will not be limited in travel by the dash panel. Make sure the choke wire set screw is tight. Check the overall operation of the choke. A maladjusted throttle control could stick open and cause the machine to go out of control. Check the throttle control carefully. The throttle cable barrel must be seated properly in the throttle control. Loosen the set screw on the throttle lever at the carburetor. Pull the cable down gently to take up any slack. Tighten the set screw. Torque the head nuts with a torque wrench to 16 foot-pounds each, using a crisscross pattern. Torque the drive clutch bolts according to the specifications provided in the clutch service manual. Use a band or chain wrench to hold the clutch during the torquing operation. While you have the torque wrench, tighten the spark plugs to 25 foot-pounds each. Check the drive clutch pulleys for alignment. Make sure the correct belt is installed and is flush with the top of the pulley. Align the brake pucks so they are centered on the clutch flange and do not rub when they are not engaged. To adjust, loosen the brake assembly bolts. Apply the brakes firmly. Maintain brake pressure while tightening the brake assembly bolts. Check the drive chain alignment with a straight edge. Make sure the chain is properly aligned and has no more than a 1/8 inch deflection. Replace the chain cover, fill the chain case through the upper fill hole until the oil is level with the check plug hole. Use Arctic Cat chain lube. The Cat has 3 grease fittings. There are 2 fittings on the rear suspension, 1 at the eccentric bearing. The eccentric bearing is located near the top of the drive chain housing. Use a hand grease gun. Only a small amount of lubrication is required. Excessive pressure may damage the bearing seals. Check the track alignment visually. The track should be centered on the rear of the skid frame. If the track is off to the right, tighten the right alignment bolt. If the track is off to the left, tighten the left alignment bolt. The alignment bolts also act as tensioners for the track. To check the track tension, raise the machine and pull the track down in the middle. It should move about 1 to 2 inches, no more. The track is too tight if the deflection is less than 1 inch. You must turn the alignment bolts equally when tensioning the track to maintain alignment. Superior handling and ride characteristics are the Cat's most outstanding features. Don't overlook these during the pre-delivery inspection. The suspension is set light at the factory. If you know the approximate weight of your customer, you should be able to set the suspension so it will be very close to perfect on his first ride. Remember, your customer is expecting a lot from his new Cat, and the Cat will live up to his expectations and its own reputation if you take the time to set the suspension to the customer's weight and your local snow conditions. Set the suspension tight enough so the machine does not bottom out. Test the suspension system yourself. With the hood in place, install the rubber grommets in the windshield holes. Do not tighten the bolts until they've all been started. Tighten them from the middle outward. Mix clean fuel with Arctic Cat Purple Power Lube or Rotolube according to the specifications of the engine. Using a funnel, place a small amount of fuel mixture in the tank. Start the machine and make the final carburetor adjustments. Check the lights with the engine running. Check the emergency shut-off switch. Take the new machine for a test ride. Check the engine, suspension, steering, and other systems for defects or improper adjustment. After the test ride, go over the checklist to see if you've forgotten anything. Remove all packing material such as tape. Make sure you leave no tools in the machine other than the owner's tools. Blow out the machine. Wipe off grease and dirt. An important final step in the pre-delivery inspection is cleaning the machine. Make the new machine look new. It should be spotless. Check the safety decals. Be sure they're in the right places. One final check and the machine is ready for its new owner. When your customer picks up his Cat, take a few moments with him. Go through the lubrication requirements and special needs of a 2-cycle engine. Fill out the registration card, go over the operator's manual, and explain safety rules and local snowmobile regulations. A new Arctic Cat is a special event in the sporting life of anyone. Give it to him looking good and running well. He'll know we're talking about more than a machine when we say, you know you can count on the Cat.